And hello, everyone. Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. Welcome to the show. This is episode 207. It is season 5 already. We are rocking and rolling over here. We're going live a little bit early. And the reason why we're going to go live a little bit early is because we are going to, we have a huge amount of people that are on the panel now, and we want to make sure that we have plenty of time to say hi to them before we get to the live show. So we have 5 minutes to do a quick pre-show to say hello, everyone. Since I'm looking at my screen, let's go ahead and start with Kevin Houston. Kevin, welcome to the show, Big Dog. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Doing good. Good to see y'all as well. I've got
You
my
you got another flight in over here, and how was that, buddy?
I didn't like the bumps. It was bumpy, but you kept telling me it was a bump factor of 1. So maybe I'll get used to them. So I'm sure I will. But
Well,
planning on coming back this coming up Saturday, hopefully.
yeah, we're definitely gonna have some fun. That is for sure. So welcome to the show. Glad that you're here, and I can't wait for you to get back over here so we can fly some more and maybe do some cross countries. I just realized that my good microphone wasn't plugged in, and all you can hear is the microphone from my laptop. So hopefully that's a little bit better. Can you tell the difference?
Yep.
Does it sound better?
Good.
Or sound the same? Yeah.
It sounds slightly better.
Oh, good. I like slightly better. Slightly better is good. So welcome show, Kevin. Glad that you're here, buddy. We also got Joey, man. How you doing? Good to see you, man.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing good. We talked on the phone a little bit, long bit. Glad that you're able to be on here. You like to fly, and one of these days you're going to get back over here, or you're going to get over here because you're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, Western near Hendersonville.
So you're going to get over here and take some classes, do some advanced training, hang out. Hey, maybe you just need to come
Yeah,
over
man.
for our fly-in from the 5th to the 8th to watch the eclipse. There you
Yeah,
go.
in April. I know my job's kind of tough though. We'll be getting geared up for Mother's Day sales at the greenhouse. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. I know I won't be able to make it to Bad Apples for that very reason, but I don't know. April, they've been known to cut me a little bit of slack, so I'll just have to put it in and see what happens.
Well, play it by ear. Sounds good. Glad you made it over here, Joey. Good to see you, buddy. We also got
You
our
too,
very
man.
own Linda Anderson, paramomusa.com with the pom-poms.
Hey.
There's the pom-poms.
Welcome, everybody. Hi, panel. Welcome tonight. I love Mondays, my favorite day of the week. And I have to say hello to my chatters out there. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've got a great show lined up for you. We got Jeremy Howe in the house, and we're going to have a really, really, really good night. So I want y'all to sit back and enjoy the show. That's it.
Yay. Awesome. Always good to see you, Linda. And I tell you what, it's really interesting. We're on our season 5, and you've been with us since what, season 1?
Yeah.
It's been pretty crazy. I mean, this is awesome. I can't wait to see season 10, season 20, season 100.
It's amazing. I've met so many cool people in the last almost 5 years already, right? You know, just getting guests on the show. And like I told you, I love it because every time you get a new guest on the show, it's a new para friend and they become your para family and all that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
And you can't beat a good pair of socks. All right. We also got our very own Jim from Canada A, the only guy I know that has maple syrup smelling money, official sponsor of our show here, because as you can see on his little geriatricPPG.com, he also has geriatricPP.com. That QR code will get you over to what, Jim?
I think it's careppg.com. I can't remember. We'll have to test it here.
I know, right? And not only that, but if you mention somebody's name, you also get 10% off of all the cool stuff that you do. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Oh, I do custom printing, so I can print virtually anything for you to whatever specs you want. And I'd be happy to do that. And if you mention the show, then I'll give you 10% off.
Awesome. And I know that you print out these awesome calendars for us. Really neat. So that's great. Thank you very much for printing out the calendars and all the stuff that you do for us. Thank you for that 10% off. And also, we can always find you over at careppg.com for your crazy paramotor shenanigans. Thank you very much, Jim. Good to see you, buddy. We also got Sean Smith. Man, Sean, it's been a minute. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I think the last time
Howdy,
you were
partner.
here, episode 206.
Yep.
So
What
hanging out with
other
us
place
tonight.
what other place can I go on a Monday night to hang out and talk about paramotors?
I know, right? This is the best place on Monday nights. So it's always good to
Yep.
see you. And we also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. He's also going to be doing the spinny wheel of Winnie things. So make sure you say hello at Will Fly. Will Fly, welcome to the show. Glad that you're here, bud.
To be here as always, Monday nights, my favorite show on Monday night. Well, I was just talking to Jeremy, I think it was, and we got the flying season coming up, and man, it is coming fast at us. I mean, we got Fly for Gauge coming up in March, and that just kind of starts it off. We got circus. Actually, yeah, the circus is it over now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over
Yeah.
now. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking forward to delving into some of those videos. I bet they had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, yeah, because they dropped that 50,000, so it'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you can check out my videos at willflyppg.com or search for Willfly on YouTube. You should find me there. But it's good to be.
Excellent. So once again, we are going to be giving away some things tonight. So make sure you at Will Fly say, hey, I'm here, so we can put you on the spinny wheel. That's spinny, W-I-L-L, spinny wheel of Winnie Things. But tonight is not about me. Sean Simons, your host. Welcome, everybody. But tonight is all about Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome to the show. Good to see you again, because you were here. I can't remember what season, but it was what, episode 127-ish or something like that?
Yeah, sounds right, about 2 years ago. And good evening. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, good. A lot of things have changed since the last time that we have talked. You are now an official member or part of the USPPA, the treasurer.
Yeah, I ran for office and I got enough votes, and now here I am. I just finished my first year with the USPPA as a treasurer.
That is really, really awesome. I'm so glad that you made it here. Welcome to the show. So for those of you out there that do not know Jeremy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into paramotors, and then we'll start going into your amazing journey of paramotors, USPPA, and maybe even some 3D printing.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm Jeremy. I found paramotoring on YouTube. I wrote 2014 in the bio this time, but the last time I was on the show, it looks like I wrote 2015. So one of those years I found paramotoring on YouTube. And I was in college. I didn't have enough money. I didn't really have a sustainable income. So I just watched a ton of stuff on YouTube, probably everything that was out there. And then after I graduated college, I saved up some money and I signed up for training in 2019. So I've been flying for about 5 years now. And I have 2 gliders and 2 motors now. So I've got a little bit of variety to fly around in the sky. So it's been great. I've been going to a lot of fly-ins. I've been going to a lot of different events. I've been meeting a lot of new people. I've been slowly progressing through this flying thing that we all do. And it's been great. I've had a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I know in the pre-show you were talking about doing another SIV clinic, or you did an SIV clinic and want to do another one. How many SIV clinics have you done?
Yeah, I did a SIV, I think. I want to say 2021, I think. I was with Andy Fuller at Skylab, and Andy and Bill were there. I had a great time. We went through the whole curriculum that they normally do. It's surprising how much the beginner gliders just want to fly. You can do all kinds of paraglider origami with them, and whenever you let go of the brakes, they just pop back out and they're ready to fly. It's amazing. So that was my only SIV experience. I'm happy to go into more details if you'd like, but I'm hoping to do more. There's a handful throughout the world that I think are highly rated. Like, I don't know how to pronounce the place in Turkey. Oludunez. I don't know, but there's a few out there that I want to try out. That looks like a great flying site. I think there's some things I could get better at and get more experience doing, but it's not necessarily something I do in my day-to-day flying. I don't really do a lot of collapses or recoveries or any of that crazy stuff. I just like to fly around and enjoy the air.
Yeah, I mean, SIV clinics are not to go out there and do acro. They're for us to understand what happens when our wing collapses, what to do to fix it. The wing collapses, during some sort of weird wind anomaly. Well, we know that we can pull the A's down, collapse it, and then it'll just open it back up. Or if we got a riser twist, we can undo it. And then worst comes to shove, we throw a reserve because we practice throwing reserves in our SIV courses. I definitely recommend Andy Fuller in his SIV clinic down in Florida, because Jim and I don't know who else is going, but we're going to try to make it down to the SIV clinic with Andy at the end of March. How cool would that be? So anybody wants to go, just let us know. Now,
And what was the name of his boat?
yeah, what's the name of his boat? We know the name of his boat. The name of the boat. Okay, yeah, that might be something.
I forgot.
We might need to use that one again. So if you know it, don't put it in the super chat, because that might be one of those answers that might win something on the show tonight. Once again, Will is going to be putting everybody on the spinny wheel. So if you want to win something tonight, make sure you at Will Fly in the super chat. So, hey, you know what? I know that a lot of people want to know for the guests, what is your go-to wing and your go-to motor? And are you planning on upgrading or changing your wing or motor anytime soon?
Yeah, so I've got a Parajet Maverick with the Moster 185, and I fly Luna 2. I find that to be a ton of fun in the sky. I also recently bought a Yuta F2 frame. It's aluminum. It's got an Atom 80 on it. I haven't flown it yet. It was more of a winter project to assemble it and get the Atom 80 all set up. And then I also have a Mojo Power 1 that I flew for a long time, and I still fly it, just depending on what I'm trying to do in the sky. But the Luna and the Moster are my go-to. Those things are fantastic. My only beef is the fuel efficiency in the Luna is just not super great compared to some of my other friends that have comparable gliders. But other than that, it's been fantastic. I enjoy it.
So real quick, just because you said most were 185 and then Atom 80, what is your weight, your all-up weight?
It's 185 plus motor plus clothes plus, I don't know, again, it depends. I fly in the winter a lot, I fly in the summer a lot, so the 2 seasons I could be plus or minus 15 pounds just of clothes. It just depends.
So you have a Moster 185, why are you gonna be going to an Atom 80?
I started out in an Atom 80. I
Okay.
enjoy it. I flew it until it blew up on me, and I rebuilt it, and I haven't flown it since. But I don't know. I have a second motor. I have a second frame. It's just depending on what I'm trying to do in the sky. Sometimes I just want to go up there and cruise around. And I like the Atom 80. It's got some pros of like noise, vibration, torque. But it definitely has some cons compared to the Moster 185 too. But again, I just like options. It's good to have. And if I have any friends come visit, I have 2 motors, 2 gliders. They can come fly as long as they're within the weight range of my gliders.
I like that. I really love the Atom 80. I just like how nice and light it is, and it's usually just that one pull start. It has plenty of thrust for old grandpa to get up in the air with my wings, because I like my 28-meter wings. So pretty cool. Real quick before we continue, I forgot to ask, anybody on the panel have any questions for Jeremy? If you do, now's your time.
Only easy questions.
Go ahead, Jim.
I was wondering how long before you actually went to the SIV, how long had you been flying?
About 2 years, I'd say. And I got a lot of flying in those 2 years.
Did you?
Yeah, I tend to fly any flyable window. I tend to fly as long as I'm not working or out of town.
Cool. So you'd say approximately how many hours did you have before you did it?
Probably about 100 or so.
Good for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's awesome. I think that I was 6 months in before I took the first SIV, and that right there just expanded my knowledge so much. It was almost like I went from only 6 months of flying knowledge to all of a sudden a year and a half of flying knowledge. I mean, it just is amazing what an SIV clinic will do. I know that we asked this before in the super chat. If you've done an SIV clinic, let us know that you've done an SIV clinic and who with, and did you like it or not? Are you going to do another one? It's always nice to know what you guys want to do. Real quick, also, Kramer, you won last week's calendar, and I haven't sent it out yet. I apologize. I found it in my car today, but today is President's Day, so I couldn't send it out because everything was closed. So it will be out tomorrow.
Hey, Sean, Kramer, I'm sure will forgive you because she's totally excited. Apparently, she's driving back. She got her gear. So
Awesome. Good for you. I'm so happy. That is
I
great.
guess, I don't know if Bill H is with her or what, but she's driving back and watching the show. So
Yay.
congratulations, Kramer.
Yes, love
That
you,
is
girl. Good
Awesome.
job. I'm so
Congratulations.
excited for her.
I
I'm
did
so
have a question for
excited.
Jeremy.
I know.
Nice.
So, hey, Jeremy, you said earlier, you said you're kind of, progressing through your flying career or whatever, but what stage are you at now as far as like your excitement level or, can you go a day without flying? Can you skip a good day? I mean, or do you have to fly every day that's, flyable? I mean, kind of where are you in that?
Yeah, I'm 5 years in, and I'm 29, so I've got a lot of flying time hopefully left in my life. I'm still excited about it, but I don't necessarily know if I'm flying every possible window. I live in Metro Detroit, Michigan, and today it was perfectly flyable, but it was like 35 degrees outside, so I didn't want to pack up everything and bundle up. I've got a flight suit, heated gloves, all that stuff, and I just decided against it. Um, I flew twice last week, and the flights are short when it's cold out there. Usually my hands get cold because they're above your heart. There's the wind going, even with the heated gloves and a couple layers, they get cold. But yeah, I still get excited about it. I still talk about it a ton. People probably are sick of me telling them about my paramotoring hobby and all the stuff I do, all the pictures I have. I tell everyone when I'm telling stories, like, I can keep going. You need to tell me when to stop because I'll keep showing you stuff. So yeah, it's great, and I hope this excitement continues. I know, for me and a lot of other people, we have hobbies that we kind of lose interest in, but this one's got magic to it, and I really enjoy it.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Excellent.
So I've got a question on your SIV course. You took that quite a while ago, right?
Yes.
So do you still remember what you came away from it with that has stuck with you? Any things that you've noticed that you have you used anything that you learned? What was your biggest takeaway from it?
Yeah, I think just in my knowledge of SIVs in general, which isn't great, but it sounds like a lot of people either come out of it more cautious or more ballsy, and I think I'm in the more cautious bucket. I still practice some of the things I learned, but while kiting, you can do collapse recovery on the ground while kiting. You just have to, create the collapse yourself or steer your glider in the wind or even midday when it's thermic. A lot of times if you're slow on the inputs, you can have an asymmetric collapse. So I still practice that. And the way I look at it is, at least when I took the SIV, and everyone's different, but I wanted to learn what to do if something happens in the sky. And I hopefully don't have to do those things ever again. But if they do happen, I have some muscle memory built in. And I've got a ton of videos on my Instagram showing some of the things that we did there. But I think some of the main things I took away was, be smart in the sky, make good decisions about altitude, make good decisions about maneuvers. And then the beginner gliders are magic and they will take care of you as long as you have altitude. And a lot of the issues are pilot induced. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
They would tow us up really high and we would do all these maneuvers. And a lot of times I would either be too slow or overcorrect, and I would just make it worse. So on the beginner gliders, in my experience, a lot of times doing nothing is better than playing around and trying to fix issues. But I had a great time doing the SIV. I call it paraglider origami. You can fly half of a glider. You know, they taught us how to fly half a glider. You know, we pull and hold an asymmetric glider, and you can turn right, you can turn left with half of the glider flying, which I thought was incredible.
Cool.
But again, I only used A gliders during my SIV.
Did you use his gliders or one of yours?
I did both. So I have a Mojo Power. I got it out of training. It's a fantastic beginner glider. I really enjoy it. And he also had I think it was a U-turn Emotion. Sean, you might have flown that one too when you were
I
there.
did. I did. That's the one that's the one I did the reserve throw on, because it was, you know, it was his wing and not my wing, and we hung it out that night. Yeah, I love it.
Was the sheathing on the lines all worn off on the one that you flew, the Emotion?
The sheathing was fine on the glider I flew. I'm not aware.
No,
of
on his
issues.
glider.
Yeah,
on
on his glider, I didn't see any issues with the sheathing.
Oh, okay.
Not that I noticed.
Well, remember too, he's a professional. He repairs gliders and inspects gliders. So, you know, he's not going to let any glider that goes out there be anything other than 100%, you know, 2 thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Since we asked about the takeaway, and anybody in the super chat, if you've done an SIV, what is your takeaway? Let us know, because we'll read that in just a minute, because I think that's really important. What is a takeaway from an SIV clinic? Mine was 2 things. I was always afraid of wingtip collapses, right? After doing an SIV course, and just like Jeremy said, you can fly by ripping down half your wing, and you fly and you don't feel any different. You just turn a little bit. So all you have to do is weight shift toward the inflated side, and you can fly the wing, no problem. Half of a wing. So right there, I was like, okay, I trust my gear. So that was the big thing. You want to make sure that you trust your gear. Secondly, is that I threw a reserve. How do you know what a reserve feels like when you throw it, you know, until you actually do it? So when I did that, I threw a round reserve, and then I decided, you know what, I want to buy a Regalo, which is steerable. So that made me decide what kind of reserve I really want. How about you guys? Anybody here on the panel do an SIV clinic, and any takeaway from that? Oh, anybody do an SIV?
I did one.
You did one? How about
Yeah.
you, Sean? What was your takeaway on it?
Just confidence, and it didn't make me fly crazy or anything. It just gave me confidence. And I don't know, a year or so later, I took a major collapse pushing on a speed bar, not very high, and maybe 1,000 feet. And it just, I think that was the only thing that has happened that I used something, but it gave me the confidence to just work through it and not kind of freak out.
And
What
then,
wing were you flying?
I'm sorry,
What wing were you flying, Sean?
a free ride.
okay.
Did you throw a reserve as well, Sean?
No, it just reinflated. You know, I just let it fly, just like
No, I mean during your SIV.
Oh, during the SIV, I just flew his wings, and yes, I threw a reserve.
How about you, Jeremy? You throw a reserve?
I did throw reserve, and I was honestly more worried about the alligators in the lake more than anything there. Again, I live in Michigan, so the scene from Peter Pan where the alligator's coming up to get Captain Hook, that's what I was picturing the whole time.
That's why I picked March.
Yeah, I was there, I think, in March too, and
I'm like, I don't want those things maneuvering around me if possible.
One of the days we got there,
they'll be slower.
That is so funny. I did not even think about the alligators in there. Now, the drive, the boat ride to the spot that we do the SIV, you saw a ton of gators. It's a ton of gators. They had a flat bottom boat. I assume that's what you rode, was the flat bottom, the airboat, and you saw all the gators along the way.
I saw an alligator on our LZ. It was an alligator that died and lost 2 of its legs, washed up on shore next to where we're towing from. I'm going to see if I can find you a picture. So that was in my mind the whole time. I was so worried, but they had like kids swimming there the whole time too. Like kids were swimming in the water. I'm like, are you guys crazy? There's alligators here.
That is so funny. So funny.
Oh.
Any questions in the super chat, Will?
Yeah, Craig B was asking, we kind of covered it, but he's asking, says, Jeremy, would you recommend an SIV and what hour pilot do you think would get out of it? I think he's saying, I guess maybe at what point and how many hours would you suggest somebody get an SIV?
So I want to preface this by saying I'm not an instructor. I've instructed nobody, so I don't know if I'm the most qualified person to give you good advice on this. My personal experience, I had about 2 or 3 years and about 100 or so hours. And I think I watched every single SIV video out there to inform myself on what it is. But from what I've heard from people who are qualified, so this is hearsay, but I think anyone can get value out of it. You can learn some things about your glider, learn some things about what to do. And the SIV course I went to, Andy was very excited, very energetic, but he definitely like understood that, the students have limits. So you could tell him, hey, I don't want to do that. He always tells a story about one person that went there and just wanted to learn big ears.
I was there when that happened. I know exactly who it is too. That's so funny. Yes.
And I would say, you probably do it kiting a lot cheaper, learn big ears while kiting, much cheaper than going to Florida. But I don't know, that's my answer. I think anyone can get value out of it, but again, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not a qualified person to give advice on that, in my opinion.
That is so true. Yeah. He was there with me when I went there. He just wanted to go there to learn big ears. And he was a professional big ear pilot after that SIV for sure.
You got it down pat, huh?
Yeah, he did. That was awesome. Then you got some people that want to do, really crazy stuff. Me, I just wanted to know the basics. Like, I was only 6 months in at the time. I wanted to see, how to do a sat, how to do, because that's what Tucker Gott does. So I'm going to do a sat, which was fun, spirals and, all sorts of fun things and collapses. I really had a good time. And then I try to go every year to hone my skills. So I recommend you finding a SIV clinic that you like, maybe close to you. I always recommend Andrew Fuller, but I think it's invaluable, and I do one every year to keep my skills honed. If you got a collapse or got something going on, you'll know how to recover that darn thing, and you just keep on building on it over and over and over again. So I think they're awesome. Did anybody say in the super chat that they have done SIVs and their takeaway?
Unless I'm missing something. I didn't see anyone say they did it.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys want to see the alligator?
Yeah, see the alligator, buddy. Yeah, let me see the alligator.
Marzano says that he wants to do an SIV,
on.
but he doesn't want to do it in Florida.
Who wants to do an SIV?
Paul Marzano.
Oh, okay.
He wants to do one, but not in Florida.
I'm in the same boat. I understand.
Can you guys see the alligator?
Yeah, that looks like good eating, man. That could have been some good alligator barbecue over there.
Yeah, it's missing 2 of its legs, but that's Andy's dog, Luke. It's like, Luke, what are you doing, man? You're crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can see why you had that on your mind after seeing that.
Yeah,
I think that was day 2 with day 2.
You wouldn't want to meet the guy that did that to him.
Yeah, the David that did that. Yeah.
Or the animal, right?
Well, that's what I meant. The gator that did it to him. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to meet that guy. That one.
That's
I
crazy.
understood you, Jim. I speak Canadian.
I knew what it was all about. I speak Canadian too. I have maple syrup smelling money. I know what it's all about. So anyway, you do a lot of traveling also too. So what are some of the cool places that you have flown while doing your paramotoring?
Yeah, so I just got my PPG 3 through Epic Paramotor, Nick and Noah down in Arizona. That was really cool. I did a couple of cross-country flights down there, flew around some cacti and some mountains and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that was really pretty. It's different than Michigan. I've flown all over the Midwest. I've flown Florida a bunch. I've flown Oshkosh. That was cool. Flying over Oshkosh was neat. And I flew Spain, Andalusia, Spain. That was last year. It was through Parajet has this adventure program through a couple of the schools in Great Britain, and they host a trip every year or a couple trips every year. So I got to fly around southern Spain and where they do like a lot of their paramotor or slalom competition training in Lake Bornos. That was really cool. And then later this year, I'm hopefully going to fly the pyramids of Egypt and Luxor and all kinds of stuff over there. I'm excited to do that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I just hope the weather cooperates. Can't predict the weather, but I'm excited.
That sounds really awesome. I would love to go to see the pyramids, go to Spain, travel the world and paramotor. I think that's awesome. Anybody else on the panel go any place other than the United States to fly? I'm not talking about you, Jim. I know that you fly in Canada, eh?
No, but every time I see pictures of people flying over the pyramids, it sure, man, I want to do that. I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
It's quite expensive, so I'm going to be poor after this.
Yeah, you almost have to do a European African tour all at once to make it worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, didn't Leah and then Jack Burton, didn't they fly? Did they fly? Was it last year or the year before, or do they go every year? Because I've seen them frequent Egypt quite a bit, seen all the videos. So maybe you'll be flying with them when you go to Egypt. That's pretty exciting because I know Leah flies there a lot. So
yeah, there's a few people there I'm excited to meet that I know are going.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Jose in Florida. He's running the trip through his trip company. I think it's Airwave. I think is the name of his tour company. He does a lot of stuff in Latin America, but he's also doing Egypt, and I think he's exploring South America or South Africa right now. So I'm excited to meet him and fly with him. And then Rob Condella, I've talked to him a few times on social media, and he takes some of the coolest videos and pictures I've ever seen. So I'm excited to meet him and fly with him too.
You're gonna have, that's gonna be so cool for you. Good job, man. I'm proud of you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're so young yet. Do it. You know, if you can get to those different countries and
yeah, when you reach our age, you have more stories to tell. We don't have many stories to tell us old folks.
I can just talk about all my tandems that I've been taking. I took the last.
I can talk about your first tandem too.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw you.
You were there for both of them. Yeah.
Right. I'm walking around.
Every
all
time I talk about it, get all like happy. Just like
Linda.
Yeah, that was my first tandem.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'll be at church and make Erik Lear all crazy again. You know, want to go, let's go. So anyway,
So
but it's about you, Jeremy, not about me tonight. So I'm going to mute myself. Right
well,
now.
don't mute yourself just yet because we are going to be doing the spinny wheel in a minute, and you always say hello to everybody in the super chat. So if you want Linda to say your name and say hello to you, please say hi at Will Fly. He'll put you on the spinny wheel. You might win something, and Linda will say your name on air. Ooh.
I know. Yeah.
Millions and millions of people will hear your name.
Yes.
National television. That's right.
It's so exciting. I love doing that.
Absolutely.
I'll make my chatters feel welcome. So
we'll give you another 5 minutes to say hello to Will Fly before we do that. What's up, Linda? What was that?
Okay.
Oh, you're okay. Gotcha. All right. So now real quick, you are you work with the USPPA, and you said there's some cool stuff going on in the USPPA in the future. You do 3D print some cool USPPA stuff, which you're going to be giving away, which is neat too. So tell us about the cool 3D print stuff that you're going to be giving away, the job that you do at the USPPA, and the cool things in the USPPA that you're going to be doing in the future, or the whole organization.
So that's a lot of questions. So I got 5 minutes.
No, you have the whole show. You're the guest. You can stay here all night long. It's no big deal.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with the 3D printer. That's probably the easiest question. I got a 3D printer a few months ago. I've just been making all kinds of knickknacks and like useful things. Like I got GoPro mounts. I've been making there's like these little kind of stencil kits. You can make airplanes or helicopters. I've been making tools. So I made a little carburetor tuner for a paramotor. It's essentially like a big plastic piece that you attach a tiny flathead bit to, and it gives you a lot more fine tuning of your carburetor. I don't recommend playing with your carburetor if it works, but if it doesn't work, it's a good thing to have. I've been making all kinds of stuff, like decorations, organizational things. I did 3D printing in high school, so like the early 2010s. We had a 3D printer in our robotics lab, so I got some experience doing that. But I've really only been printing like other people's designs that they've uploaded to the internet. I've tried my hand at making a couple. You can tell this one's okay, but some of the details aren't great, so I'm gonna keep trying. For the USPPA, I was elected treasurer beginning of last year, so I just finished my first year with the USPPA. I tell Noah and Nick and the board and all of our members that really anything with the dollar sign is kind of my purview. We have an entire training committee that is a lot more qualified than myself to discuss training, but a lot of the behind the scenes, I'm paying for different things that we do, keeping the organization legal and running and funded. We have a lot of money spent on the website, so we're going through a lot of like website improvements. We're working on a feature that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell anybody, so don't tell anybody, but we're working on a feature where students can review their instructors. So if you were a student and you had an experience with an instructor, and then we're making it so it's, I think this is final, I don't know, but I think we're making it so a rating has to be issued to link the student to an instructor to prevent malicious reviews and things like that. I don't know if that would happen or not, but basically a way to allow students to review instructors. That's a cool thing we're doing. We also do a magazine. We're shooting for 3 a year. So I've got a handful here that I send out if there's anyone that missed their magazine. So these are exciting. We've got a couple more in the works. We've got an editor helping us, and she, I think, has like the next 4 or 5 magazines like planned out. I'm like, hey, slow down. This costs money. So I've got to do a lot of the fiscal responsibility there. But last year, the USPPA had a booth at Oshkosh. So I was there along with a lot of other volunteers who were there longer than me. But that was really cool to talk to other aviation people and people that were interested in my opinion, the most accessible and affordable type of aviation. That was really cool to do. We'll be at Oshkosh, or not Oshkosh, at Bad Apples in May. So I think we're gonna have at least 2 of the board, and then a bunch of the instructors will be down there. But I think we'll have a formal booth if you are interested. Stop on by. I've got stickers. I've got stuff if you want stuff. What else are we doing?
Talk about the magazine a little bit, because I've been noticing there's been a lot of change with the magazine. It's just beautiful,
Oh, I love the magazine. And those are okay, just for you guys, if you're not a member of the USPPA, you got to go usppa.org, become a member. And the magazine that you get is more like a book. It's very heavy paper. It's not that cheap stuff that will just rip and fade away over time. These you can keep and give to your kids and grandkids, because they are just really, really well made. I really like them a lot. Jeremy's holding them up right now. Just amazing. I love. I also love what you put in them too. I mean, very good reading. You can sit there and read it. It's very awesome. Love it, man. And you get these really nice cards. Your USPPA card. Now it's not just those really flimsy things that, will rip, but they are actually good, solid cards. It has the QR code, so you can see, you can actually scan your QR code and actually find the member, so it's like, hey, this is me. You use your phone. It's like, boop.
Oh, wow.
I come up, and it's pretty cool. I'm member 7532. What numbers are you guys?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Ah,
I'm
well,
after you, Sean. You've been around longer than me, I think, in that.
I got mine back in 2019, and I've been a member ever since. I think that it's an excellent organization to be part of, for sure.
That's cool.
I'm number 7105.
What?
It's awesome.
Good for you, buddy. Well, you beat me.
Very cool.
7105. That is cool.
You know what I like about the magazine the most is looking at the pictures. The pictures are just wonderful, and it gives me inspiration. Like, man, I want to go fly there. Figure out where it is and go. Is that someplace that's possible that I can go fly?
This
I
is
just
someone
love
flying
that.
over an Air Force base. Like, how did they do that? I don't know. But they got approval and they went
That's
through the
cool.
process.
Wow, that would be way cool. I don't think I could get that to happen.
I think
Yeah, there's
that
a lot of
was
stuff
that
in here.
Las Vegas air show. They were in.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. I'm 80/70, Sean.
Okay.
Wow. I'd be like taking that magazine around trying to find the people and get autographs.
Yeah, hey, and if you are
Wow.
interested in reading the magazine today, it's available on USPPA.org. We have electronic versions of every magazine we've done so far. We've done 5.
Nice.
Issue 6, I believe, is at the print distribution center.
Oh.
So that should be hopefully out soon.
I'll have to check that out since, I don't get the magazines, but I can look at them online. That's cool. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good to
I think it's USPPA.org/magazine. So actually, let me just screen share. Hold on.
Do you
Yeah,
have
maybe
to
put it
be
in
do you have to be a member to read them, or is it open to the public to read them without a membership?
You can read them without a membership.
Okay.
But if you want a printed version, you need a membership. And you need to go into your member profile and make sure you check the box that says I want a magazine. I think it's on by default.
Okay. So
Um,
not everybody can just join that then. You have to obviously be a pilot.
No, anybody can
No, you
join.
can read it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So right.
Anybody
Oh, I
can
mean,
join.
I could and get it, and then you'd send me a magazine.
Anybody
Yeah.
can join the
Oh.
USPPA if they're not a pilot, if they want to be a pilot, if they're just curious about it. Join the USPPA.org. No matter what, it's just a great organization, and the money
Okay.
that they collect for your membership does help the organization. So even if you're not a pilot, but you enjoy watching the pilots, you enjoy paramotors, you enjoy this podcast, go to the USPPA.org and become a member. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, that's good to know. All right. Let's have to do that
So
then.
you click the little magazine icons. It's kind of like reading through a magazine. It makes even a noise. I don't know if you guys can hear it too, but it's like
I heard it.
flipping a page. Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
neat.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So you can go through all these. And if you're interested in submitting content for the magazine, there's a submit content button. You go through about magazine, submit content.
Oh,
If you're interested in advertising with us, we would love to have more advertisers. You can place an advert here. You'll be working directly with me on the advertising process. We request that you have a high quality, high pixel resolution ad so we can put it in the magazine. So our whole magazine is very high quality. And I've submitted a bunch of pictures, and our editor's like, "Hey, Jeremy, those aren't high quality enough. Like they're not going to look good printed out." So that's quite disappointing for me. But if you're interested in submitting pictures or any stories or anything, we're always happy to.
oh, that's cool.
Have more
So I
content.
could send in my pictures of me on my tandem.
Yeah,
Right.
the back of the magazine has like a photo gallery.
Oh,
Is there a way to
cool.
quickly skip?
That's good to know.
Oops.
Oh, okay.
I zoom in. I'm
He's
not sure
like,
there's an easy way to get to the back.
that's
Can
so
you-
cool.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I see people sitting there getting their tandems. That's cool. I'll have to do that.
Yeah,
I was not prepared, but there's a photo gallery in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So you can submit photos here.
What is the resolution that you're looking for in case someone does want to submit a picture?
It is on the website. So if you look in the content, I'm not a photographer, so I'm not super educated on what these numbers mean. But
That's fine.
I believe it's in here.
Oh, okay.
Start. I think it's in here somewhere. I'll get there. Yeah, so 300 DPI. I don't know what that means, but that's what you need to have.
Okay, so Jim has a printing company. Jim, can you tell us about what does 300 DPI mean?
It's dots per inch. So,
What is that in like megapixels? I think that everybody understands what a megapixel is, right? You know, so if you have a picture and that's 48 megapixels or 10 megapixels, whatever, we kind of understand that. Do you have a conversion for that, Jim, or is that not available right now?
yeah, there is a conversion for it. However, it doesn't quite relate because print graphic is done differently. Like for example, when we're doing the calendars, people will take 5 megapixel pictures and then they'll upload a 72 DPI image and it just looks like crap because what happens is the computer programs and your phone and different things like that will automatically change the DPI. So they change the actual dots per inch. And 300 DPI is like trying to convert it. Let me look it up and see if I can figure out a way to explain it easy.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. Appreciate you, buddy.
I just did a quick Google search. I don't know how accurate this is, but it said 7.2 megapixels. I don't know.
Just 7 megapixels is 300 DPI?
I don't know. I'm not too experienced in that world.
Anybody in the super chat that understands how to easily explain what is 300 DPI, please do so. That's pretty important. And if it's a really good description of what it is, what I'll do is I'll copy it and I'll put it in description here. That way, everybody that watches this video or listens to us in the future will actually have your comment if that's cool with you. All right, so very interesting. It is 7:42 right now, Central Standard Time, and Joey is trying to figure out how to write himself. You did it. Stay right there. You did it. You did it. Good job, Joey. So we are going to be doing the spinny wheel of winning thing. So Will, if you would like to put the spinning wheel on, and Linda Anderson, our Paramom USA, will be able to say hello to everybody that's in the super chat that Will has. And that way, if you are not on the spinny wheel, WILL, how cool is that? You can say, yo, I'm here. Will, put me on real quick, because we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving away. Jeremy's going to be giving away some cool 3D printed stuff. Sean Smith is going to be giving away a hat. And if people want, I also have a calendar here that we can give away on this show also. So we got a lot of things that we get to give away. Awesome.
Yes.
I know Joey's like, darn it, I'm here. I wish I was in the super chat so I could win something.
Oh, hey, Travis DuPont, he is number 9282.
9282. Awesome.
And he says 300 DPI is okay for small pictures. If you blow it up to poster, it's going to look bad.
Huh, so
yeah, see, the thing is you've got to have the DPI is a certain stage. So if you've got like a 1 inch or 2 inches by 2 inches, then and you have 300 DPI in that area, if you expand it to like 6 inches by 6 inches, your DPI reduces. So there is a direct correlation to megapixels, but it also depends on the shape. Like if you've got 1080p, you can have totally different, then you don't know what your DPI is. Well, you can figure out the DPI, but it's a different, like it's not per inch. It's confusing.
All right. So Jeremy, you're gonna have to whoever does the magazine, or I'm sorry, or the internet, your website, kind of maybe help explain it, since we have all these people here and we can't really understand what 300 DPI is. Maybe you
No,
can.
you've got it fully understood. If you give the biggest file you possibly can, you're fine.
But what
It
if my
is,
biggest file is 2 megabytes? Does that mean
that's
that my
fine.
does that mean my 300 DPI will be good enough for a picture?
It will be plenty fine.
Well, really?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
so a phone picture would be fine regardless, yes?
as long as you don't shrink it. As long as this file size is not reduced.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, one of my iPhone pictures is going to be in the next magazine. So when in doubt, send us your picture. Send us a description of what the picture is of, who took the picture, who's in the picture, all that fun stuff. And our editor will review it and include it in the magazine.
that is so awesome.
If you crop the picture, then you're setting yourself up for disaster.
How about if you take video, and people like to take screenshots of their video for pictures? Is that good, bad, indifferent? What should we, how does that work?
That's not as good because they have what is it, the shake adjusting thing, automatic shake adjust. So it might not necessarily give you a nice, clear, crisp picture.
So
Depending
actual
on
pictures, no screenshots of the video that you took.
Yeah,
you
definitely no
can do a
screenshot.
screenshot of the video you took, but you just want to make sure that it's
It's not going to be as
very
good.
clear.
Mhm.
And you don't want to have to zoom in to get the subject that you want. Like you don't want to crop it.
Interesting.
Gotcha. So don't crop it on the video. So you can do the full size video screenshot, but don't zoom in and take a picture of that.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, we got it. All right.
Hey.
Paramount,
right.
our very own Linda Anderson.
Ready?
You say hello to everybody in the super chat. And if your name is not on there, make sure you let us know quickly.
Yes. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, chatters. Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight and Monday night. My favorite night of the week to have y'all here with us. So I'm going to go through the names here and we'll get the spinny winny wheel going. We got John Wayne Cowboy in the house. What's up, John? Kyle Neal, Chris Squally, Bill H, my buddy Bill. What's going on, Bill? We got Guardian Service Dogs, Ellen Houston. Hello, lovely. We got Vaughn, Angelina. If I'm killing the names here, I apologize. Flying Flamingo Jade, my lovely. How are you, dear? I hope you're feeling better. The other Nick in the house, Jeremy. Jeremy, you're in there?
I'm in the chat. Surprise.
Jeremy said, yeah, so Jeremy, he'll win his stickers. Oh, I want my sticker. You're so lucky. Okay, we got lovely Dewese Milstead in the house. Hi, Weeze. We got Paul Marzano. We got Walter Priori from Australia. So we know that tomorrow is already here. Yes, there's going to be a tomorrow. We got Greg Laney. What's up, Greg Laney? Craig B in the house. Travis DuPont. His is Travis DuPont rigged. Tony Marzano, Mr. Vegas, Plainfield PPG, Razor Sharp BT, Joe Hiddell, Don Furman, Angela Preslick, my lovely. We got Ryan R. Rides and CT Fly in the house tonight. So good luck, everybody.
Did we see Kramer? Because I know that
She's not. She's not in the chat.
oh,
yeah, it's probably because she's still driving.
okay. Well, I mean, all in favor of putting Kramer, since we know her and she is in, watching us. Should we put
I
her
know
in?
how that's going to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and add it.
We already know. Everybody's going to say, yeah, Kramer gets to be on there. We hooked you up, girl.
Good luck, everybody.
All right, so who's going to win? Before I spin the wheel, pick a name.
All right.
You got to scroll up, but we got a lot of people here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yes, yeah. Who am I gonna say tonight? I'm
I
gonna
say,
say,
I say Kyle, only because Kyle's been doing so well over at school. He's been doing advanced kiting and stuff. So we'll just say Kyle because he's on a roll.
all right, I'm gonna say, Ellen.
Okay.
Jeremy?
I'm gonna say Jeremy.
Ah, good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Jim?
You're so funny.
Flying flamingo.
Okay. Kevin?
I'm going to say my mom too, Ellen.
All right. I'm going to say
Oh,
Razor
that's your
Sharp.
mom. Okay.
That is
Okay.
my mom.
Nice to meet you, Mom.
I'm going to say Razor Sharp BT. So I'm going to
Okay.
shuffle. And
Sean, did you already say?
No,
Oh.
I'll say John Furman. Hey, John.
I'm sorry, Sean. You were down the list on my screen. I didn't know you were. I'm sorry. You said John Furman?
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
John's a cool cat. Joey, what do you think, buddy?
Cool cat.
I'd
Yeah.
say my buddy Von Anglin. He's in the chat.
All right.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Good
All
luck,
right.
everybody.
So
You got
everything
the
shuffle, shuffle,
pom-pom all ready
shuffle,
for the
and all
winner.
that stuff. That's awesome. So
excited.
as this thing is spinning, go ahead and Jeremy tell us a little bit about the USPPA, why we should be members as Will spins the wheel.
Yeah, so there's a lot of benefits for joining the USPPA. I think that the biggest one is just supporting the organization that supports you guys. You'd be surprised the amount of organizations, companies, businesses that contact us. Also, congratulations, John Wayne.
John Wayne, woot woot.
John Wayne. Good job, John Wayne.
I was rooting for you, Jade.
We're still gonna be doing more spins.
Yay.
Oh, sorry, John Furman. I meant to say John Wayne. I congratulated the wrong John. You need to
Oh,
get
boy, won. Yay. Congratulations. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead and
So,
continue. Go ahead and continue. Tell us about the USPPA.
Yeah, so we liaison with a lot of different government entities, other organizations, businesses. You'd be surprised what we get in our inbox. So we ultimately are one of the biggest, I guess, external facing organizations for paramotoring. As far as our training program and our rating process, I think Jeff Going told me that the USPPA was founded to essentially have higher quality instructors that are all kind of teaching the same syllabus to the same degree, to create higher quality students that are having less accidents and keeping people safe. So I find a lot of value in that. I trained with 2 USPPA certified instructors. I think that there's a lot of very high quality instructors out there. A lot of them are USPPA certified, some are not. But I think it's a good sign for prospective students to use that as one of their filters to find a school. We have a magazine. If you're interested in a magazine, I think they're awesome. We get a lot of positive feedback about the magazine. If you're interested in competing in competitions, we have a relation with the NAA, and they allow USPPA members to compete in international competitions. So Johnson Q and Leah Catullo just spent a week in Qatar competing in the 6th FAI World Championship Paramotor Slalom competition. And it's all on YouTube. So if you search World Championship Paramotor Slalom Competition Qatar, you'll find it. There's a lot of live streams. There's hours of footage. There were, I want to say, like 30 or 40 participants from all over the world. In the United States, we only had 2 compete. So I'd love to see some more people competing internationally. If you're interested, I'd suggest you reach out to the people who are doing it already, or you can email me. It's jeremy@usppa.org. We also have an incident database if you're interested in contributing to the safety of the sport, allowing others to learn from your mistakes. There's a wealth of information, I think, dating back to like 2004 on the website. You can go through a couple hundred just documented incidents on there. And I've submitted a couple for myself. I've had friends submit a couple. if you're interested in volunteering for the USPPA, we are looking for an essentially incident database coordinator to help connect people who've had accidents with the database to increase safety within the sport. I can keep going. So we also have the event calendar. I've been doing a little bit more of the social media stuff for the USPPA over the last year. I'm trying to ramp it up a little bit this year. So we have event calendar for fly-ins. So if you have a fly-in and you want to include it on the event calendar, you can go on the website and do that yourself. Or we have an event calendar coordinator, Erik. He's much appreciated. He'll be happy to assist you with that.
You go to Torchport, the Torchport page, and you scroll down. See, I'm representing Torchport now. See, I sent Erik a new picture for Torchport.
We love Torchport.
I know. Yep.
USPPA.org/event-calendar.
Hey, what's that first one there? What was that
that's
first one?
Fly It for Gage. So that's Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane's fly-in he has. It's for a charitable cause. Am I allowed to plug things on your shows, John?
Absolutely. Scroll down. Let's see what the next two look like.
Yeah, just go through them.
So I can continue. So there's a couple. I'm a little conflicted here. So there's a Michigander who bought an airport in Southern Illinois who's having a handful of fly-ins this year. So he's having one for the Eclipse. Sean, I can't really read this very well. Can you explain this one right here?
So this is our very first annual fly-in. It's Run Into the Sky. Actually, that picture, the eclipse part, that's actually the last eclipse that came through a couple of years ago. On that little thing. Actually, Will, I probably need you to make something a little bit better than that. I just snapped that together on my phone to put it up there. We're not charging for this, but we have a lot of things that we need at the school, everything from paper towels to, toilet paper, cleaning stuff. So if you don't, we're not charging per pilot, but if you can, bring something and donate something to the school, anything that you can think of, that definitely helps a lot. We probably have enough room for a good 50, maybe even 100 pilots. If you want to bring camping gear, you can, your RVs, tents. We might even open up the school and have some blow up places that you can just kick back and relax and maybe sleep there. We got a bathroom, but we don't have a shower yet. So we do need to finish up the shower. So you guys have showers over there. No dumping station, but we do have water and electricity at the school, but nothing run out yet, but we will do that in the future. This is from April 5th until the eclipse April 8th. And I can't wait to be able to run into the sky and actually, fly during an eclipse. How amazing would that be? More information will be on our website. If you scroll down a little bit, Jeremy, you'll see down there the runtothesky.org/pages/fly-in. We'll get that updated a little bit more as we get closer to the fly-in.
Awesome. And if you submit your event to the calendar far enough in advance, you'll make it into the magazine.
Woo, did we make it in?
This was the one last year. So let me see if we're in issue 5. Let's see. This event calendar is 2023, so it's last year. So the next magazine should have 2024's events in it.
Excellent. That's so cool. Hopefully every year we're going to be doing a fly-in also at the nonprofit flight school. So if you don't know about Run to the Sky, it's also Paramotor, Arkansas is part of Run to the Sky. This podcast is part of Run to the Sky. It's all nonprofit. It's to help disabled veterans. So all of our proceeds go to helping disabled veterans learn to fly. And we also got fabricators to help people if they do have, unfortunately have appendages missing, we'll be able to still help them run into the sky. They might even have to roll into the sky. We don't know yet, but we definitely want to help everybody that's out there. We still take everybody, but we give veterans and heroes a massive discount. So if you want to learn to run to the sky, definitely give us a call. Contact us, 501-747-3558. Go to runtothesky.org and check it out. And hopefully we'll see you very soon during the eclipse.
I'm going to be there for sure.
Be there or be square.
I just hope it's not cloudy.
I hope it's not.
Oh, don't jinx it.
Oh, I said it.
Unfortunately, he said it. Everyone was thinking it, but yes, absolutely.
That's right.
So Jeremy, I've got a question about the USPPA. A while back, and I haven't heard anything about it in a while. You guys were representing us to do with the deal with Amazon and their drones. I haven't heard anything about that in a while. Where is that, or do you know? Or
My understanding, it's stuck in FAA limbo. I think that they are spending a lot of time reviewing it. In my opinion, I think it's silly to give unmanned aircraft just blanket control to go wherever they want and force everyone else to yield to them. I think when there's human lives in the mix, that the FAA is going to rule in our favor. But I don't have any, I guess, news on that.
okay.
All right, sounds good. Was there any questions in the super chat or on the panel before we continue spinning for the other fun items that are out there? If anybody
I had
wants
another
to-
question for Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him, what other fly-ins? I know you said you were gonna go to Bad Apple's fly-in, but what other fly-ins will you be going to, Jeremy?
Great question. So I try to go to all the Michigan fly-ins. There's a handful. There's a couple in northern Michigan, a couple in southern Michigan. So I try to go to those. I think most of them are on the USPPA calendar. There's also a Michigan powered paragliding pilots Facebook group that usually has them. So if you're there, come find me. I'll have stickers for you. I like to fly with. I like to meet new people. I'm also shooting for the Bad Apples fly-in and the other Eclipse fly-in I'm attempting to go to. But I think that's it for this year. I don't know if I'm going to make any other ones. I'm busy. I juggle a 40-hour week job generating value for the shareholders. So that's a lot of time for me to, I guess, to take off work for events.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
limited
also
PTO.
life that goes on too, right? I mean, so flying is just one part of it.
Flying is awesome, but yeah, there's a lot of life, you know. I only have so many vacation days. I wish I had more.
I hear you.
All right, so
Got the wheel back up.
yeah, John Wayne won the first one. So John Wayne, you have the you can either get the hat from Sean Smith, you can get Jeremy's 3D printed fun stuff, or a PPG calendar from me that was printed by our very own whom? Jim from Canada A at geriatricPPG.com. All right, ready to spin it when you are, my friend.
Good luck, everybody.
I'm gonna pull for John Furman this time, since I falsely accused him of winning last time.
I would
If
say
anybody,
Guardians.
if anybody doesn't live in the lower 48 states, we reserve the right to send you something through Amazon, through whatever country you live in.
I'm hoping Deweese. Deweese is my vote.
Easy.
Round and round and round she goes. Where she stops, we'll know in
I
just
love
a
my girls, my flying girls. I love them.
Yeah, and don't forget, Flying Flamingo J does a podcast every Wednesday. You can find her at paramotorgirl.com. Every Tuesday, if everything's still going right. Tell us about that, Will.
I'm sorry, on Tuesday. Yeah, okay. I'm like, it's gonna be I'm trying to figure out who it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Paul. Yeah, so Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. You can go to ppgshane.com. Congratulations, Paul Marzano. You are a
Whoop, whoop.
we
Congratulations.
we get together, a bunch of paramotor guys, and we talk paramotors, but we're liable to talk about anything. So come hang out with us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. ppgshane.com. Oh, look who's next on the list though. John Furman.
Oh man.
Was right there, man. Was
Yeah.
right there.
Doesn't make him feel any better, I'm sure.
No, it's like it's rigged.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to spin again one more time. Obviously,
Okay.
Paul, whatever John does not take, you have access to. You're the second one that gets to pick. And then this next person, whoever wins this, will be able to, well, they don't have to pick. They just get whatever's left. John Wayne, did you say what you wanted, bud, in the super chat? Did you guys see him, what he wanted?
He has the calendar, he says.
Okay, so John, get up with me, just text me and send me your email. I mean, your mailing address, your email. Yeah, I'm going to email you the calendar. Send me your mailing address and I'll send it to you. You know my phone number, 501-747-3558. Paul, let us know what you want. You have cool 3D printed USPPA things and flying things from Jeremy. And you also have a really cool hat from Sean Smith. So let us know what you want.
Right.
Also, too, while we spin this, Linda, let us know what's going on Thursday nights.
Ooh, yes, Robert's back from Flying Circus. And so Thursday night, paraglidingtalk.com with my awesomest son, Robert Michaels. And he's going to be back on Thursday night. And he's already has it in the link. So you guys, I'll send it to you and everything. But we're going to be talking flying circus stuff. He's going to show some videos and all the stuff that went on there at Flying Circus, and pretty excited about it. And he really had a good time, met a lot of people. And of course, you know, some of the people he met, my name just happened to come up, you know, in the conversation. Oh yeah, Paramount. So I'm like, Robert, I'm the other celebrity.
I was watching Kevin as it was getting really close to his mom, and his face
was
just
blowing on
dropped
the
when
wheel,
the
wasn't
other
it?
Nick popped up. Congratulations, the other Nick. That is awesome.
Hey,
It
that's
was
the other Nick from Florida. So, and he's moving to North Carolina, is what I heard. So,
Really
come on up. There's room for one more. So, congratulations, the other Nick.
awesome.
Congratulations. Yeah, so y'all check out Thursday nights, paraglidingtalk.com. And then, of course, we know on Friday nights, it's Scuba Vapes.
Yeah,
Watch
where
his-
is Scuba? Why is he not here? I'm really surprised.
He played hooky tonight.
Is he doing something? Is he just
Yeah.
playing hooky?
Taking care, yeah, I guess, you know, he had obligations, you know, sometimes the wifey, hey, we need to get this done. So, you know, that kind of thing. It's all
Gotcha.
good.
Good deal. All right, Scuba Steve, Scuba Steve, if you're watching this, I hope everything's good, and hope that you are here next Monday. All right, it is after 7 o'clock, so I forgot to ask you, Jeremy, how long do we have you for?
As long as you want.
Oh, don't
I'm
say
Eastern
that. You know
time.
better. You know better than that. It'll be 4 or 5 hours. It will just keep on talking about paramotors. But hey,
I
maybe
can
you
stay up
that's
later
it.
than you.
I know. I'm an old grandpa, man. So my bedtime's rolling up pretty quick. Will, do you need to leave anytime soon, or?
I do. Yeah, I
Okay.
do. But I wanted to hang out for the wheel. And hey, it's been fun, guys. And Jeremy, always a pleasure. We'll see you at Bad Apples, I'm sure. And
See you there.
one other thing, if you live in the southeast part of the United States, check us out on Facebook, the Southeast Paramotor Group, and love to have you come see what we have.
Excellent.
y'all
And,
have a
and
great night.
if you're going to be leaving, you might want to take a quick thumbnail before Linda totally freaks out and
Oh
goes,
gosh,
shoot, what
I
is going on?
spaced it tonight. I've been so excited about the spinny wheel and all that. So
All right, you ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. We got it.
Awesome, opossum. That was great.
see, I don't have to do anything. I just keep my hand right there. There you go. That's it.
Perfect.
Sit back in the chair. There it is. That's my signature.
Y'all
Yeah.
have a great night.
You out of here, Will? All right, later, buddy.
Right,
Thank you
Will.
so much for everything you do, man.
Thanks,
Bye.
Will.
Before I take off, I would like to just thank you, Jeremy, for coming on the show. It was awesome. Learn more. And if you know of anybody who wants to do an SIV on March 29th through 31st, let us know. We need one more. Well, we don't need one more, but we'd love to have one more in our group. And we've got one more spot available. So thanks, guys. You have a good
Stamey.
evening.
Thanks,
All right,
Jim.
buddy. Thank you, Jim.
Hey,
We
Jim.
appreciate it, buddy. All right. So we will continue to do this if everybody still wants to listen to, things about paramotors. I mean, that's our motto. Warning, may talk about paramotors, right? So that's us. We love talking about paramotors. Was there anything else about the USPPA that you wanted to tell us, Jeremy? Is there anything that's coming up that we weren't able to talk about?
Yeah, I forgot to mention the tandem exemption. I think that's a huge perk of the USPPA.
Okay.
There's a couple organizations that have a tandem exemption, but ours was recently renewed by the FAA. So we've got it for a couple more years, and we can, attempt to renew it again and again. But it's a great tool for instruction. I think that everyone that is an instructor should be doing tandems. I am doing tandem training next month. I'm hoping to pass and get my exemption, and I have a couple of friends who I want to instruct, but I don't know if I want to make a business out of it. I think it's just my friends who want to get into flying, but don't necessarily have the bug yet. So I'm hoping to take them up into the sky, show them some instructional things, and give them the bug. But that's an awesome perk that we have to be able to legally do tandems. Just be smart about it. Don't ruin it for everybody else. And there's eyes on your social media posts from the FAA. So people see what you guys do, post on the internet.
So I got a question. There's a lot
it.
of people that are like, oh, I want to fly, paramotors, and I want to take, my kids up and my wife up and my dog up. What is the legalities of just taking people up, just your friends and family? What are the legalities of the tandem exemption? What is the purpose of the tandem exemption?
So as far as taking your dog up, that's probably not like a nice thing to do because it's really loud, and I don't know if the earmuffs fit well enough to like protect their ears. Jokes aside, it has to be for instructional purposes only, and you have to go through one of the, I believe, 2 organizations that have programs for that. So if you take up your kids, you have to do some sort of instructional activities in the sky. I don't necessarily know if I have a good understanding of like if there's anything concrete or specific about what that means. So it's kind of an aid for instruction, in my opinion. So if you're taking up your kids, teach them something about the sky. They don't necessarily need to become paramotor pilots in the future. If they do, great. I'm sure you want your kids to be paramotor pilots if you are. But it's just got to be instructional. And there's a couple, if you read the exemptions, there's one on the USPPA website and there's one on the Aerosports Connection website. The FAA has the official document that they've given to these organizations, so you can read what specifically you need to have, what specifically you need to tell your passenger. So you need to tell your passenger that operating a tandem is only allowed, or only it's through an exemption for the FAA, and that the aircraft you're on is not certified through the FAA, and that you're not a certified pilot through the FAA. I'm not sure if there's more than that in there, but there's a lot of specifics you need to do to make it legal. But I think it's a treasure that we have that we should try to preserve as a group of hobbyists that fly around in these contraptions. I'm hoping to get mine, so please let it stick around for a while. And I haven't heard of anything. I guess there was the one fatality that happened in Oregon recently. That pilot was tandem certified, so there was an investigation that was done about that. And then I don't really have anything to share about that specific incident, other than it was a tandem accident that got some eyes on the exemption in the sport as a whole. So
So are you trying to get your wheeled tandem?
I'm actually trying to do a foot launch tandem, and based on
Cool.
everyone I talk to, it's not the way to do tandems. Everyone says, hey, wheel launch is much easier for the passenger, for you. But if I'm only doing it for my able-bodied, mid-20s or late 20-year-old friends who can take, a fall to their knees or who can run, then I don't think
Yeah.
there's an issue there. Everyone I've talked to says it's like a three-legged potato sack race on launch. So the person on the back has to run really wide, and the person in the front runs really narrow with their legs. And I've never done a foot launch tandem. I've only done wheel launch tandems, but as a passenger. But I'm hoping to do foot launch tandems as a pilot. I'm doing formal training, jumping through all the hoops to get the exemption, and I'm excited. Does anyone have any advice on tandem gliders? Which ones you guys like? I have a spreadsheet that I have been meticulously going through to figure out what I like and what I don't like about each glider. But it's kind of like a dance, until you fly the glider, you don't necessarily know how it feels in the sky. But there's a couple of things I think I can knock out or cross off based on some personal preferences I have. So if anyone has
Well,
any,
I started
sorry, I was
out
going to
with
say,
a
if anyone has any
Gen,
tandem,
yeah, I started out with a Gen Fuse 41. I think it's a Fuse, yeah. Gen Fuse 41 meter. And in hindsight, I wished I had gotten a smaller one, like a 37 or a smaller glider. In the end, it seems like it's a little too big. It's only a bass I have.
yeah, thank you. I have noticed there's a lot of tandem gliders that are specific to big tandem trikes. So myself, similar weighted passenger plus a motor plus the glider plus all of our gear on those very large tandem wings that were designed for a trike. We're not even at the bottom end of the weight range, so we're not even
Right.
in there. So I can cross those gliders out almost immediately based on just the weight range of the glider.
We got the Ozone Triox. It's a 34 meter, and I think the weight range in pounds is like 590 to 960 or something like that. So it's a huge weight range, and our tandem machine is a beast. It's at 250 pounds dry. So you throw in a 250-pound guy and a passenger, you're kind of getting up there, right there. Anybody else with tandem wings or anything like that for Jeremy? No? All right. I guess we can move on and keep on rolling. So it's 8:16. We are rock and rolling. How many thumbs up do we have? How many people are watching? I haven't looked and checked yet. Looks like we got 102 views, and right now currently have 26 people watching. Is that correct? It kind of drops down after the spinny wheel.
Very cool. Very cool.
I don't
Thank
see
you, everybody.
the likes.
20.
22, it's just hit to 23 likes. So if
Nice.
you're able to give us those likes, those thumbs up, it really definitely helps our metrics. We definitely appreciate you guys for sure. Those thumbs up
Yeah.
definitely help us out. Like I said, too, this is a nonprofit podcast through Run Into the Sky. It's been donated to Run Into the Sky, which is the nonprofit. And everything that we're going to be doing in the future is, it's just any revenue that we get, proceeds, all that stuff goes to helping disabled veterans being able to run into the sky. All right. Now,
cool.
as far as projects that the USPPA is working on, obviously, since you got the inside look, any inside look at some projects that you're doing that are going to be coming to fruition in a little bit or later on this year, or anything that we might hear about but wonder, hey, is this true? What's going on in the background of the USPPA?
So I try to keep that stuff under wraps until we're ready to share it, Sean. So sorry. I don't necessarily know if I have anything that I haven't said already. I'm just one of the 4 board members, so I try to get everyone on the same page before I tell people stuff. So I don't necessarily know if I have anything as far as projects besides just new magazines, more events, more social media presence, we need you guys to compete in some international competitions because I want to watch you on YouTube and being at more events this year. What I could talk about, I have a handful of interesting stories related to flying around that I think might be unique for the group. You might find interesting. If not, sorry for wasting your time.
We
but you
always
might
love
like it.
we love paramotor stories, but that's what we love to do. And right before we get to the paramotor stories, did Paul and the other Nick let us know in the super chat what they wanted, so we can get them to the right people to receive their prizes? Did they say anything? Do we know? Anybody?
I'm looking.
I didn't see anything.
So Paul and the other Nick, you won on the spinning wheel. Let us know in the super chat what you want, and that way we can get you to the right people so we can get you your winnings. If you already did it, we didn't see it, so pop it up real quick at Kevin Houston or Jeremy to let us know, Paul and the other Nick, what you want. All right. So Jeremy, stories. What we got?
Oh boy. So I'm trying to find a picture. There's two in here, but basically, I do a lot of paramotoring, and I have a couple LZs that are basically at the Canadian border. So last Monday, a week ago, I was paragliding around the Detroit River, and I land, and I'm with a friend, and he and I are talking about how cold we are and how we wish we had more gloves and all this stuff, and then the United States Customs and Border Patrol roll up on us. They're like, "Are you guys U.S. citizens?" So let me
wow.
show you a
Yeah, I
picture.
could see that happening.
Oh my goodness.
Take a look at this. So this is me talking to the Customs and Border Patrol. That was kind of funny, but they were really nice guys. They just wanted to make sure that we weren't invading from Canada, as they said. They just weren't really sure of what we were doing in the sky, and wanted to make sure that we're not doing anything illegal.
Sure.
But they were great guys, great sports, and they're like, "This sounds awesome. How do I learn more?" So I told them about the USPPA, about YouTube. I gave them some cards for some local instructors. And then they gave me a card and said, "Well, if you ever see anything interesting up there from coming from Canada, let us know." So he gave me like a phone number to call.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
John Wayne says that Jeremy the border jumper. So
Yeah.
whenever I fly around the Detroit River, they have these giant poles with cameras on top, so they can see you, right? And they have a couple stations along the border. And I always have a GoPro running. I always have gaggle running. So if I have any issues, I say, "Hey, I took off from the United States. I landed in the United States. My airspace, I was in the United States for the whole flight." So I have proof of that. But in my experience with law enforcement and the police and everybody, they've all been nothing but nice in the sky when we fly around.
Oh
But,
man,
that was
I never
crazy.
thought of that. Yeah, I never thought of that flying. They think you were flying to Canada. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I could,
Yeah.
It's there's no like physical border between Michigan and Ontario. There's a river, and that's really it. So a lot of people are on the boat around Canada. A lot of Canadians are on the boat around the United States. They've got a lot of potential crossings that could happen. Most of it's just fine, but there's some nefarious stuff that goes on. And he said, if I see anyone crossing illegally, call this phone number. So that's quite interesting.
That's crazy, because I used to, back in the day, I was like, 19, 20 years old or whatever. I'd jump in my car and I'd drive, through the tunnel to Windsor on the weekends and party with my friends and go to hockey games and all that. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be driving back home like nothing, My mom would be like, "Where were you last night?" "Oh, drove to Canada for a little while." Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it when you could just drive up to Canada, drive back, nobody said anything. Now it's passport. It's like, man, these borders are getting
I know. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. stop at
And
that, what is it, the export store or whatever? Is that
duty
still
free,
there?
duty free
Yeah,
store
yeah.
still there. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember that too, bringing all kinds of goodies back, back in the day. Like, oh, they got my favorite drink. Yeah, okay, let's finally stock it up.
Hey, let
So
me tell you another story I got.
okay,
Okay.
before the story, real quick, Kevin found the other Nick. He wants your 3D stuff. Just let him know
Okay.
how does he get up with you to be able to so you can send him that cool 3D printed stuff.
Yeah, send me an email. It's jeremy@usppa.org. Send me your address. If you have anything like interesting you want 3D printed, take a look on the internet and maybe I can make it for you too. But I've got a couple stickers, a couple magnets, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. If you're not a USPPA member, I can send you a couple magazines. Just put that in the email and I'll send you that.
Wow, that is really impressive. Thank you, Jeremy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So that leaves Paul with the hat from Sean. So how does Paul get up with you, Sean?
I guess the email gopapa@gmail, GOPAPPA@gmail.
Go Papa.
Go Papa.
All right, gopapa@gmail.com. I hope people just don't send you a bunch of stuff because they heard, email addresses on this podcast. Oh my goodness, that'd be awful. But everybody knows mine too, ppggrandpa@gmail.com. So it's always nice to have a Gmail address. All right, it's time for Jeremy's story, unless somebody on the panel has something to say before he tells another cool paramotor story. It's all yours, Jeremy.
Yeah, again, I can keep going until you tell me to stop. So if you guys want to go to bed or anything, just let me know. So I've got another one about a Coast Guard helicopter getting in my way, I guess. So in Michigan, again, we have the coast, right? It's not really a coast, but we have Coast Guard helicopters. And one of my buddies I fly paramotors with is one of the search and rescue pilots for the Coast Guard. And we fly out of one of our LZs is out of a relatively busy airport, municipal airport, class G. But I'm flying around. I go on this hour 20 cross country flight. The sun's setting, and my buddy's already landed and went home. So it's just me and this guy still, and I'm just putzing around the farms, and I'm coming back to land. And in the distance, the Coast Guard helicopter is doing taxi practice at my airport upwind of my LZ. So all of his downdraft is getting pushed by the wind to where I'm trying to land. And I'm addicted to social media on my phone, so I'm always seeing those like crazy crash videos. And it's crazy what a helicopter's just prop wash can do, like even 10 minutes after it's gone. It can take you out of the sky. So it's no joke, especially the larger Coast Guard ones. So I'm flying around this field for 20 minutes and the Coast Guard's just doing taxi practice over this airport for like 20 minutes. And like the sun's setting. So I flip the strobe on and I'm like, okay, like I'm almost out of gas. Can you get out of here? And I'm texting my buddy that flies for the Coast Guard. I'm like, hey, can you tell this guy to like go away? You have a whole like Air Force base you can fly from. What are you doing here? But he's allowed to be there, right? And as an ultralight, I have to yield to other air traffic, so I get it. But I ended up just landing out in a farm field, and then someone called the police on me and said, "Hey, this guy just landed. Like, I don't know what this is. Is he okay?" They're just trying to be like safe and do, make sure I'm okay. So I have to explain to the police, like, I'm okay. Nothing's wrong.
Did you run out of gas? Did you run out of gas, or you just landed on purpose?
I intentionally put it down. So my GoPro turned off because I was flying for so long. Out of batteries. The battery sucks. But there's like a service road between these two fields of, I think they're corn or soybeans at the time. But I just right down the middle landed just fine like a butterfly. I was quite impressed with it. But I had to walk like a good half mile back to my car, and like the police were talking to me and like, I'm good. Nothing's wrong. I did this on purpose. Helicopter prop wash is not something to mess with. So that was That was quite crazy. And I told my buddy who flies the helicopters, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell that guy, and he's gonna laugh so hard." So I didn't hear anything about it afterwards. But I guess moral of the story is I think I made the safe decision. It just inconvenienced me. I had to walk back to my car and drive back to pick up my gear. And a good Samaritan got the police involved, which I thought was an okay thing to do. But moral of the story, don't mess with helicopter prop wash. Make good decisions, land out if you need to. No shame in that. It's a good story.
So you don't know how much longer he was in the sky after you landed, did you? Did he?
He was gone after I got back to my car. He was gone. So again, I probably could have waited and then landed, but it was getting dark, and I was just kind of sick of it because I was doing circles in the field, a little bit away from the airport, watching him. He would stay at he would go to like the start of the runway and just hover there, and then he would go straight and do the pattern and come back and hold straight. And again, it's upwind of where I'm trying to land. So all that nasty air is where my spot is. So I don't want to land in crazy turbulent prop wash and potentially like hurt myself. So
yeah, don't hurt yourself because then you'd have to report to the USPPA.
I'd be in the incident database. I think that's a great tool. If you have time, poke around in there. You learn something. Keeps you safe, keeps you humble. I got one more for you guys that I'm willing to share. It's about my first time trying a new glider. Some people might have heard this story before this happened. I was a very new pilot. I had a lot of time in the sky, but only under a Mojo. And if you've flown the first Mojo power, it needs a lot of A's to launch to get it above your head. And it was no wind. I'm in Central Florida. It's a morning and the grass is all wet. And I was looking at trying out a Luna 2, which knowing now, I think the Mojo and the Luna 2, that's kind of a bigger step. Maybe I should have done like a spider in between, but that's fine. So I'm demoing a Luna 2 and I blew a launch. I blew a launch. 3 or 4 in a row. And it's because I'm just going crazy with the A's at getting frontals on the inflations every single time. And one of the more experienced guys that you guys probably all know, but he said, "Hey, you silly goose, like less A's, hold it up higher and just kind of let the glider come up with you." So I get the glider above my head. I have a moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can go. It's good. I'm happy to fly. And my flight path was this way. And the way the glider came up, I'm going this way. So I'm just kind of more focused on going straight in my glider. I didn't realize that there's a car in front of me.
Oh, so no.
I get off the ground and pull hard right brake. And if you know how pendulums work, I pulled right brake. So I kind of went towards the car and my prop hit the car, hit the window twice, and it took off the mirror. So
wow.
And then I'm full throttle and I get off the ground and I'm in the sky. And, my first thought was like, okay, is get altitude and then figure it out. That's kind of what I've learned. Again, I was new, beginner mistake. You live, you learn. Like you should kite a glider a lot before you take it up for a flight. I get up there. It's a Helix prop. If you know, Helix props are pretty durable opposed to other brands that I've flown. The glider, it was an Atom 80, so the prop doesn't have any weird vibrations or noise. I look back, I got it at idle, it's clutch, so it's spinning slowly, and it looks like the prop's all there, I'm like, well, everyone else, so this whole time I'm trying to blowing 4 launches in a row, I've got a gaggle of 8 people waiting for me to go on a cross country. So I'm that guy, I got all this pressure. So I get off the ground, I'm like, okay, I'm going on this cross country flight. My glider, my prop's fine. I thought it was just the hoop. I look down at my car, I see the mirror's gone. So it was my car, by the way. That I
okay,
so you guys
okay,
know.
okay.
I don't know who parked this car there.
You didn't mention that one. We're like, oh, okay, so you're just going to go on a cross country after chopping up a car. Okay, good for you, buddy.
And it was funny.
Okay,
it was funny because Todd Falstead and Bob Harris were on the ground looking at the damage of the car. So I text Bob. I'm like, hey, just so you know, that's my car. Like I hit my own car. We're good. No one else is involved in this. So I go on a cross country flight and come back and land. and just the tip of the propeller hit the side of the car, took off the mirror, and I've got it's an okay video of it. So let's
Okay.
see if
Oh, you
guys,
got a video. Yeah.
Oh, hold on, where'd it go?
Absolutely. Love
Lost it.
videos of fun things like this. Kevin would use the Power Mojo too, right? When you fly?
I do. Yes,
Uses you need a lot of A's, right?
you do. Yep.
So when you go to a new glider, don't launch it like a Mojo. And I found even when I go between the Mojo and the Luna, a lot of times I'll like blow a launch. I'm like, what am I doing? This is a beginner glider. Why am I messing this up? It's just because I'm, So this is me launching a Luna down in Wachula, if you guys are familiar. And I'll just let the video play, and then I'll give you commentary afterwards.
All right. So if you're listening to this show on your favorite podcasting app, you will definitely need to come over to our video, our live stream. Where to go? Oh, there it is. Oh, we missed the chop and everything, huh?
So the person taking the video was, following me with their camera, but their camera stopped, but their head kept watching because they realized, like, oh my gosh, this guy is hitting his car. So there's a lot of mistakes that happen here. One, I should have just killed the motor and stopped once I realized that I'm going to collide with something. That's the smart thing to do. My beginner brain at the mind, my thought process was dodge. It wasn't stop, it was dodge. Not the right thing to do, in my opinion. But if you look, you can see the mirror kind of falling off. You see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right there.
The flash.
Yeah, I see it.
So the propeller was repairable. I actually still have it over here somewhere. It's a Helix prop, really strong. And the car, I put a Band-Aid over where it hit the car, so it's fixed. It was fine. I actually sold this car, so now someone else has no idea why there's a line in the side of the car. It's a great story. I didn't fix it or anything. I thought it was a good reminder about complacency for myself, to keep me safe. And
look
then
look at your where you took off from. I mean, there's tents, there's cars, there's trees.
Right,
where were you trying to go actually? I mean, what was your plan?
This way, that way.
You're trying to
I was gonna go right at the windsock. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Again, there's 8 people above my head that all took off that same way. My glider just came up sideways, and again, I was learning, and I didn't have the thought to correct it. So my brain said, "Go and dodge," and that's what I did. It's a great thing. I like to learn from other people's mistakes, but sometimes
continue the video.
I contribute to the pool.
Yeah, continue the video. I want to see where you end up going. Oh, boy. You need to kill that cameraman. You need to thrash that guy. Man, that was awful. All the cool stuff was gone.
I don't know if he wants to be included, but I'll tell you his name.
Don't say names. Don't say names. Don't say names. Don't say names. And I didn't mean kill either. I meant
He's a very nice guy.
Come on now. All right. So
he's a very good person.
It's all good.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find you my car, unless you guys are good.
Oh no, we're good. Probably start to chill at about 9 o'clock, so about another 20 minutes or so.
Tell you what, guys, my wife just went to bed. I think I'm gonna head out.
All right. I was just gonna ask to see if anybody needed to go before we continued. Kevin, you good? Joe, you good? Everybody okay?
Yeah, I need to go in about 5 minutes to shut everything down.
All right.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, I'm
Sean
about good too,
Smith.
Sean.
It was a blast. Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you, Sean.
Bye, guys. Nice to meet you.
So you were so close to shattering your window too, huh?
So if you look, this is the line in the side of my quarter panel right there. Can you see my cursor, by the way?
Yeah, we can. And
so it's right there.
Yeah,
if
you were
look closely,
so close.
There's a line there.
Oh, it did hit the windshield. I mean the window.
And there's another one over here somewhere, but it's kind of hard to see. And then you can see my mirror got taken completely off. So
by the cage, I assume, yes.
I assume, yeah. I mean, I felt the whole thing get hit, and I was like, we're flying, we're going, you know. A lot of mistakes are made in this flight. A lot of lessons were learned. A lot of experience I can share to hopefully let you guys learn too. There's a guy I've talked to on Facebook. I think his name's like Gareth Payne. He flies in, I think, Thailand or Southeast Asia, but he also hit a car. So him and I are like the crashing into your own car club. And whenever someone posts a video of them hitting a car, I tag them in it. So
Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of people that have hit their own car with their paramotor?
there's not many people in my I guess knowledge, but there's a handful of people I've seen, but there's not many that have had a similar thing happen. And it's
So
usually not as close as this. It's usually a lot more that they'll hit the car and stop flying. But
you
this
you
is
might
just
you
a
might need
freak
to
accident.
make a Facebook page of paramotor hitting your own car page or something. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Facebook pages for everything. Might as well have one for that, right? Have your own club. It's a very small club, so
That's funny. The do's and don'ts
that
hitting the car. Yeah,
is
funny.
awesome.
Oh
I
my
think that's
good.
all I got, guys. I think that's all I got for tonight.
Well, that's really good. So that was really awesome. And since everybody needs to go in about 5 minutes, we can just call it. We'll say goodnight to everybody. And that was a really awesome show. Lots of good stories to share. I'm glad Joey and Kevin and Linda made it here too, and Will and Jim. Everybody made it over here, which was awesome. Jeremy, so if we need to get up with anybody at the USPPA, we actually know somebody right now that's at the USPPA, and we know their email address, Jeremy at usppa.org. And
.org, yep.
yeah, definitely get up with you. And we also know too that the usppa.org, you don't need to be a pilot. You can become a member without being a pilot. You can be a member and not ever be a pilot. It just helps our community. So anything that you do definitely helps out. Go over to the usppa.org. Now, how about as far as like training courses? I know that you got some really good training courses on the USPPA. You got the airspace training, which is really awesome. And of course, you got your PPG 1, 2, and 3s, wheeled. Any other training that you plan on having in the future that you're allowed to talk about on the site yet?
Yeah, I would say we have a couple ground school courses. I think there's two, but one of them is related to instruction, so you might only see one on your profile. But we are working on expanding our ground school on the website, but we recommend you learn from an instructor that's certified through the United States Paragliding Association. How's that?
That was excellent. Love it. So it sounds like there might be some more stuff coming out, so I really can't wait. Maybe we'll have you out next season, in season 6, and you can really bring us up to date what's going on. Because I mean, since Noah, you and everybody got control over this, it seems like it's really exploded. A lot of things have gone really well at the USPPA. It's totally different from when I joined, 100% different. I mean, it's really a great site to go to. So you guys have done an amazing job.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And if you're interested in working with us, we're always looking for volunteers.
I will get up with you because yes, I think it'd be a really good thing to do. Absolutely. I will get up with you about that.
Sounds great.
Excellent.
Cool.
And something else I was going to touch on too, Jeremy, was just talking about the tandem exemption. And if it hadn't been for me taking a tandem ride back in August of 2023 at the Moonshiners, flying with PPG Gorilla Rick Davies, I wouldn't be paramotoring like I am now. And so it was kind of like it. I've been watching this happen for probably 20 years of my life, and it's taken me till now getting to this point to be where I feel like I could commit to doing it. And so I took my first solo back in October 28th, but there's no way I would have done that had I not got the opportunity to take that tandem ride. So I love that, the tandem exemption.
I love that story. The question is, when you went, you said you went to a fly-in and that's where you got the tandem, or you went over to Rick Davies to get the tandem?
No, I went to a fly-in. It was over in Mountain City, Tennessee at Moonshiners.
Okay, so you went to Moonshiners and you went there just to see what it was all about. And is that why you went there? Did you go there with anybody else? Were you
Yeah,
interested in sharing?
my friend
Mhm.
Von Englund, he's been flying paramotors since 2007. He was in the chat tonight, and he's kind of a self-trained pilot. I know that's kind of shunned upon, but in the area we live in back at that time, there wasn't a lot of people in the PPG community doing instruction or anything like that in our area. So it's kind of like one of them things. If you wanted it bad enough, you just had to do it. And so I've been watching him all these years, 2, 3, 4 flights a year, whatever he can squeeze in to get his experience level. But he said, he's not had very many friends that have followed in his footsteps and jumped in to do it. And like, I'm one of the first guys, but I've always had a passion inside of me for aviation ever since I was a little kid. I can remember at 4 or 5 years old, standing on the hood of my mom's car at the end of Douglas International over there in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, before it was the international airport, and watching these big jets take off overhead as we're sitting there eating chicken on the top of the car. So it's like aviation, something about it has always intrigued me, and I've always wanted to be in some form or fashion involved. And I've worked really hard my whole life to get to where I am, and I've had a lot of cool toys, but paramotoring is by far the wildest thing I think I've ever done. And it's slow, it's safe, it's next level. I don't know, it's super cool. I really enjoy it. I feel like it's therapeutic.
It is,
um
definitely therapeutic. Oh my gosh.
it's
That's a
it's
cool
it's a
story, Joey. That's a cool story.
it's
I'm
a
glad you shared that.
I keep saying people need to put out a disclaimer for the tandem rides, because that is such a false advertisement of what paramotoring by yourself is really like, because it's like a magic carpet ride. You don't really get the sensation you get when you fly by yourself and you're the pilot in command. And so it puts a little bit more pressure on you. As long as you're a person who does well under pressure, I think it's okay.
That's cool, Joey. That is
Yeah.
that so you went on your first tandem and you got in your first tandem, and when you did that, you were hooked. You said, I
Yeah,
want to,
it's like it notary stamps something
and
in
you
my
got
heart.
your
It's like it sealed the
you got your
deal.
own equipment. You got your own
Yep,
equipment
I
and all
went and
that, and
purchased my stuff, and I've taken a solo flight. I've had a lot of great help from the community, and that's even with Sean Simon's PPG Grandpa here. He's sent me over all kinds of stuff to help kind of keep me getting more and more educated about the ground school and airspace and different things that are in the syllabus, even though I haven't went to a formal school. But the first flight I took, I was on comms, and a lot of people joke about one of the guys that was in the video, because he's like yelling at the top of his lungs, "Power, power, power!" And everybody's like, "God, who's that screaming power?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's my buddy If It didn't bother me a bit, because the other guy, my buddy Vaughn, he was on the phone with me on comms, and he's like really calm and relaxed voice, and you can kind of hear him at the end of the video. So it's like just the ability to be able to turn your brain off and listen and do what someone else is telling you. I think that is what really made my first flight, magical, because getting up there and having all that pressure on yourself and all the unknowns, and not having a communication, not being able to switch your brain off and be like, okay, just listen to what they're telling you to do. It would have been a whole lot different. Like, I wish I could be one of them guys. Like, I even told Sean Simons, like Chucky Wright, just who has that drive about him to be able to go out and do it. Like, nothing's going to stop me. Man,
very cool.
I don't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chucky's a friend of mine. He's got good energy, and he's made quite the his progression story is pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, and then I've even talked to, when I was at Moonshiners, I got to speak with Robert Woodall, Winging It Woody. And he's a super humble guy, man. And he said he kind of came from the same place, where he's just decided to do it and traded dirt biking for paramotoring and just got into it and, just kind of winged it.
Yeah,
I love that about his name too. Like it's so symbolic of where he came from, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
He was
super
a
humble
guest star on
guy.
our show. He was a
Oh
guest
yeah,
on our show years ago. Yeah.
I've listened to that.
Even Chucky. We've had a lot of people over these last 5 seasons on the show. We've had a
Yeah.
huge variety. People that just got into it that only had a flight or
Yep.
two. We had some people that haven't got into it yet, but are going to. Then we've had people that been in this for for a long time. We've had Kylo, Oakley. We've had
Love Kylo.
yeah, Kylo is the bomb diggity. And
Yeah.
we have a lot of people. Andrew Fuller, we've had on there.
Yeah. That's who else do we get? Yeah, I'm thinking who else?
I
Yeah.
know right off the bat. I mean, we also had Jeff Goen that wrote the PPG
Mhm.
Bible. So anybody
Yep.
that has been in the sport, I
Yeah.
mean, I think we had Jeff a couple of times over the years.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's all-
really
You
well,
guys are on episode 207. I've probably watched at least, I don't know, 200 of the 207. Just trying to
Well,
absorb
it's
like a
funny. It's
sponge
funny when
as
when I
much
first
of the
started doing this.
information.
When I first started doing this, I would have my iPad and then I would call the person on my phone, put it on speakerphone. My iPad would be recording our conversation, and that was our first couple episodes. That's how we did our episodes at the beginning because we didn't have the technology. I didn't know about the Zoom and stuff like that. So the first ones
Yeah.
were not the best quality, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to meet a lot of people. That's why I did the podcast. I wanted to learn a lot because I'm always going to be a student. Even though I help people run into the sky, I'm always a student, and that's why I love to go to advanced classes, advanced courses, SIVs, meet up with other people, go to fly-ins. There's a lot of knowledge out there and a lot of wonderful people, and I think all
Yep.
you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
fact.
why.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, that's why I decided 2 years ago, when I went to Erik and Jade's fly-in Torchport, Michigan, Northern Lights Paramotor LLC. I decided to take my first tandem because I wanted to know what it was all about. I was following the shows, and then I finally got on the show with you, Sean, and whatnot. And I just decided, went over that fly-in, and I just kind of watched everybody, and I thought if I didn't do it, I'd regret it. So before I knew it, I was sitting in the seat, went up in the air, and I'm telling you, yeah, it changed my life. I mean, oh my gosh, even when I talk about it, I still get emotional because it really, really changed my life. And when I landed, I was crying, I was laughing, everybody was crying and hugging me and everything. And it was like the coolest thing. And then, and then last year, I went back up again because I had so much fun the first time, but it was even better because I knew what to expect. And then I was like telling them, I want to do a flyby, I want to do stop and go, whatever they call it. And
Touch and go.
yeah, touch and go. And so so I'm going back again in May, and want to
I'll
get
see
back
you
up
there.
there again. Yeah.
I'll see you
Yes,
there.
Jeremy. Yes. So
One of these years, I'll make it to Bad Apples. It's not going to be this year, probably, but one of these years. My buddy Vaughn's been telling me all about it and all the hype of how all the pilots come there. And he says it might not be the place for a beginner pilot to necessarily fly, but just the atmosphere of being there and being around all the celebrities. That's why I feel like a celebrity being on your show right now, just because how many people have already done this long before me. But I'm sitting in the super chat anyway. I figured, what the heck, man, come on here and chat it up a little bit. I love talking about paramotors anyway. I'm all in, man. I mean, I just absolutely love it. And I've only had one flight, so it's only going to go bigger and better from here.
There you go. Well, you're welcome to join us anytime on Monday nights. Jump in the Zoom.
I love it. Yeah.
Like
Sean, I was talking to him earlier and was telling him, it's like all the information you guys do spill out here, like even Jeremy tonight, giving those little nuggets, those little gold nuggets of information, and like being so humble as to go over stuff that a lot of people would be humiliated about, crashing into your own car on a launch. A lot of people wouldn't want to share that, but just to be able to be in a place to do that, I think that's a part of what makes the community so great, to share your ups and your downs, your highs and your lows.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I hope to do the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
this
can
was
learn
a-
something from anybody. Everyone
Absolutely.
knows something
Oh yeah,
you
my
don't know.
first flight was far from perfect. It was a good first flight because I was able to get up. I did like a little figure eight, probably 150, 200 feet, and then I came in and landed on my feet. I didn't break no gear. I didn't have any major mishaps. So the flight itself was exactly what you would want for your first flight, But my hang points were a little off. So on launch, I didn't have any torque compensation. I've kind of talked to Sean a little bit about this, and so my trimmers were pulled all the way in. My hang points were a little bit far out, and so when I launched, it's like it scooped me into the seat, and I immediately had riser twist, and so the wing is going to the right, and my feet are swinging out and going to the left. And so I have to compensate, with the throttle to kind of keep it. So I'd come off the gas a little bit and get back on the gas, and just to try to even it out so I wasn't rocking so hard. But I didn't have any steerability. And I think that was the most scary thing for me. It wasn't so much the climbing and the sensation of going up as it was not really having that steerability or as much control as I had thought I would have,
I'm sure that a lot of people are thinking to themselves or wondering, where'd you get training from?
Aha.
Right.
Yeah, some friends of mine, that's the thing is I haven't got any formal training, and that's why, with the Run Into the Sky paramotor school, you've sent me a bunch of what you would do for your ground school with the airspace and being knowledgeable of that, and then the risk versus rewards and things that are already implemented in the syllabus. And I know my buddy that I had helping me that was on comms, he's not a USPPA instructor, but just a good friend of mine. And we was RC pilot buddies 20 years, before I finally jumped in and decided to do paramotoring.
So one of the things that we're doing is we're working on a website. So right now, if you go to paramotorcollege.com, we're working on actually putting together a website. Now, we don't have the main one where you can log in and you can watch videos on how-tos and learn of everything about how to fly, but it's a basic thing. Like you can check out the FAR 103s, you can do tests online, the PPG 1, 2, and 3 tests are there, the wheel tests are there, the airspace that USPPA got is there. A lot of information, some videos that you can watch as far as learning how to clip in and clip in correctly and how to launch. These are it's kind of like a tips and tricks and kind of a place to go to learn a couple of things, but it's definitely not a learn online how to fly. But people that have self-taught, it's not just getting up in the air, it's your airspace. It's understanding your rules and regulations. You have FAR 103. Well, you got to know that. How about your winds aloft? Do you know your winds aloft? How about your sectional chart? So you know that you're flying in the correct airspace. What is airspace? What airspace do you launch in? Can you launch in G airspace with less than a mile of visibility? No, you need at least a mile of visibility. How about clouds? They need to be free of clouds. How high does G airspace go up to? Across the United States, 1,200, sometimes around airports, 700. But how do you know if it's 700? What airspace sits on top of G airspace? E airspace, it goes up to what? And also E airspace is kind of cut into two different spots, 10,000 feet and under and 10,000 feet above. Did you know that? There's a cloud clearance that is different. You need to have more cloud clearance and more visibility depending on where you are in E airspace. You can't just turn on your strobe a half an hour before sunrise, go up to 10,000 feet and watch the sunrise. You're in controlled airspace. You can only go up into G airspace for that half an hour before sunrise and after sunset. You can't go into E airspace with your strobe, during that time. So there's a lot of things that you need to know to make sure that you are safe and that you are an ambassador to our sport. You know, not that guy that nobody wants to go, they don't want you to go to a fly-in because you're that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. You want to be very knowledgeable, and when you fly, you want to be very respectful and be that ambassador to the sport. Enough of that rant.
Agreed. I mean, that's a big part of it, though. I mean, going from being self-trained to going through a school and learning all these little tidbits and the bits and pieces that you put together, because otherwise you end up going out there and eventually stepping on people's toes or flying low over somebody's farm and upsetting them and their animals. And so, yeah, you want to go about it the right way for sure. You know, and then the thing is too, like with the tandem exemption, that's why I was going back to that, is because, you know, I've only had one flight. I got my solo, and so I'm hoping to get to the same place in my progression as Jeremy is, to where I can eventually go for a tandem exemption and be able to do like you were talking about, take my wife. But at the same time, I don't want to do it right now. You know, I want to wait and jump through the right steps and go about it the right way. Just so everything's the way it's supposed to be, and I'm making sure my granddaughter's safe, my wife's safe, and I'm safe. And you know,
Yes, one
at the
thing
end
if
of the
you
day,
go up there,
you know,
yes, one thing if you go up there and hurt somebody, but can you imagine going up there and hurting, you know, somebody in your family or hurting somebody? It would hurt your heart more than anything. It's like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. You know, so you got to really have a lot of skill, understanding, get that exemption, you know, and have have a good amount of time under your belt. As a trike pilot, you know, you just don't want to go from being a foot launch pilot to go, oh, let's get a tandem exemption for a wheeled launch. It's a big difference, but it's kind of the same. Kevin has been flying foot launch, but we also got him into the tandem, or not the tandem, the trike trainer on the ground, right? We had that.
Yes, I've done that one time. I want to get a little more proficient on foot launch before I guess progress to trike.
But the trike is interesting because, you know, it is fun. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't want to do, I don't want to do trike, but trike is fun.
I've got my friend Vaughn, he has both. He's got a Sky 110 that's a foot launch rig, and then he's also got a Power Gold 130 that's on a Sky Cruiser frame. It's a little bit older unit, but I've got on his trike and kind of putted it around out in the field, and just to kind of feel what the thrust and to feel the difference of like you hanging in the seat on launch versus how you run into the seat when you're foot launching. It's like you're already there. You just basically have to point the wheel in the direction the wing's going to go. Kind of like how when you're foot launching, you run under that low side. I guess with the trike, you more or less steer towards the low side to get it to bring it back up. So there's little differences for sure. And, you know, I eventually would like to get to the same place to where I could have like one of those little trikes you can attach your motor to and take it off. That way, if I go to a fly-in, I can ride my trike over to the farthest corner away from everybody to get set up to launch. And like you say, if the winds change direction, you just pack everything back up, head to the other side of the field and set up over there, and bam, you're ready to go. Whether you foot launch or trike launch, you know, it doesn't really matter, just to get up and get flying. To me, that's the name of the game.
Even if you don't fly a trike, you can get one of those light trikes like you're talking about and take it to your flying, right? Let's say that you're at Bad Apples, right? We've been to Bad Apples, but let's say that the wind shifted instead of right there where everybody is, you got to go all the way across that field so you launch into the wind. Well, you just bolt on your light trike, drive yourself over there, unbolt your light trike, and foot launch from that side.
Bam, gone, up and away.
So you don't have to fly the trike. But man, it's a great transportation mechanism for your paramotor and your wing.
Definitely a good tool to have in your arsenal for sure.
Hey Joey, just make sure you don't set up your glider right in front of someone else when you're at a flying. I made that mistake.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This guy's ready to launch. He's ready to go, and it's my first flight. I'm like, oh, this looks like a good spot. And he's like, what are you doing? So don't make that mistake like I did. I was a hooligan.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. It happens every flying. There's some guys that set up in front of you. But
oh my gosh.
Learn
you
from
don't
that
wanna make
mistake.
friends that way.
But on that same note, when it comes to fly-ins, go to the ESPPA.org, look at the calendar events that are coming up. Go to these fly-ins, even if you are not a pilot, go to these fly-ins. The networking and a fly-in is so awesome. I've gone to fly-ins and haven't flown and just networked because it's more fun to sit there, talk to pilots, watch people, take off, and the blooper reels at fly-ins are amazing. So if you got your camera out, you can catch some really interesting things that happen over at fly-ins. And another thing too, if you are a newbie over at a fly-in, we all can do what you can do. Don't go over the LZ and do spirals and barrel rolls and stuff. We can all do that. Move away so we can all launch and land for sure. We probably need to do a podcast again on the etiquette of fly-ins. If you look back under paratalk.org, which is our audio version of this, we do have what I just said, where we talk about how to be the good guy, that nice guy, not that guy over at a fly-in, all the etiquette over at a fly-in. So check that out too. It is after 9 o'clock. Do we still want to talk? Do we need to go? I know Linda said that she needs to go. Kevin, you need to go, buddy?
I'm ready to
Yeah,
go.
I probably need to. Yeah.
I kind of need to go too.
Yeah, it's after 10
we're all
my
let go.
time.
All right. So let's go ahead and call it an evening. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy. We definitely appreciate you.
Yes, Jeremy.
Kevin
thank
Houston,
you.
can't wait for you to jump over here again. Paramom, Linda, can't wait to go up to Torchport and see you hang out. And Joey, can't wait for you to get over here from North Carolina so we can hang out and I can teach you a couple more tips and tricks that will make your launches and landings so much better. Plus, we'll be working on that paramotorcollege.com. So check that out. A lot of good information there, and we will continue to work on that. Jeremy, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you guys
thanks,
for having
Jeremy.
me. Nice to meet all you
Much
guys
love.
here.
Yeah, you
Lots
too,
of new
man.
people.
Yep. Be
Thanks for
safe
having
out
me.
there, and I'll
Nice
see you
meeting
in May. More
See you in May.
weekend.
Hopefully we
All
get
right.
good weather.
We're trying
know,
to make the
exactly.
hearts come out, the little heart thing, but there it goes. Woo! I did it. That's my magic
Yeah.
show for the night.
Mine doesn't do that.
No, it's
That's
hard
okay.
to make mine do that too.
It's
All right,
all
go.
right.
Linda's is broken.
Ah, you got a heart. Point to
Yeah.
the Jeremy. Point to the other side. Point to
It's
the other.
over
There
here?
you go. It's right there.
Oh, on my screen it's over here.
Oh yeah, the heart thing. That's right. Let's see.
Awesome.
Let me see reactions. Let's see there.
So you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
There it is.
Appreciate everybody. Look at all the hearts. The other side, Kevin. There you go, Kevin. Good job. Your arm disappeared. That's scary, but okay. We don't still attached.
That's so fun.
Anyway,
That was
I'm
fun.
here. Yeah, you guys want to learn more about me, Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa, find me at ppggrandpa.com. There's a little bit of backstory about me at ppggrandpa.com, iflyparamotors.com, and obviously I'm always at runintothesky.org, our nonprofit organization to help disabled vets. If you're not a disabled vet or a hero that, like a doctor, EMT, anybody that helps out people, we also have Paramotor Arkansas, so check out paramotorarkansas.com or paramotorarkansas.org as we're switching everything over to for everything to be a nonprofit. Anybody else have anything before we say goodnight to everybody?
If you want to be a guest on my show,
Your show?
On my
We got
show.
you. I heard that.
go to paramomusa.com. It'll take you right to my Facebook page, and just let me know. DM me, say, hey, I want to be on your show, and I'll get you all set up, and you can be a guest on our show, just like Jeremy. We always have really good time. Thank you so much, chatters and listeners, viewers, all that good stuff. We really appreciate all of you, hanging with us on Monday nights. We really do. Much love. I always say much love. Be safe out there flying and all that good stuff. So
Absolutely.
That's it.
Speaking about .coms, I think Kevin got a new .com because he figured out what he wants to be as far as in the paramotor community. What did it finally end up being, your .com, buddy?
Well, I did get a .com. It's flying50.com. So all letters, but it goes straight to my YouTube right now. So Kind of excited about it. So I don't have many videos. I've only got probably 3 flying videos on there, but it's kind of it's cool. So I know
We will.
Jeremy and Sean, y'all all have a bunch. So
Yeah.
hopefully I'll catch up one day.
We'll have to do a lot of videos so we can put them up on your YouTube channel, and everybody can go to, what is it again?
Flying 50.
Flying50.com. So that sounds like you're a police
950.
officer.
Okay.
Oh
I
my
am.
goodness.
Yes.
You
Yes.
are a police officer? Oh my gosh, I better don't arrest me. I'm okay. I didn't do nothing wrong. No. So
I was
yeah.
gonna say he's
So-
either flying a Mustang or he's flying blue lights.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the Mustang file. That's hilarious.
I
That's
forgot
awesome.
about 5.0. Yep.
So Kevin is going to be retiring pretty soon too, and hopefully he'll be coming over to the Run to the Sky and help us out a lot, and be able to drink his cup of coffee and walk outside and go fly and help disabled vets, and just enjoy the rest of his life without having to worry about being shot.
Yep. Or worry about everybody else's problems. So 25 years of it. Time to hang it up.
Congratulations, Kevin.
Yes,
We appreciate everything
congratulations.
that you've done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man,
Yes.
thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Much respect. Much respect.
It's a dirty
My gr-
job cleaning the streets up, but somebody's got to do it, man. It can't all be left to the
Oh, yeah.
trash guys.
No, we can't.
Definitely can't. And just like Kevin and I were talking about before, you can't just say donuts about cops, because everybody loves donuts. So shut up.
Everybody does love
Everybody
donuts.
loves donuts. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you so much. I
Thank
had
you.
an amazing time. You were awesome, Jeremy, Kevin, Linda, Joy, everybody else that was
Thanks
here.
y'all for having me.
Will and Jim, we definitely appreciate y'all. We miss Scuba Steve, and we'll see you next week right
Ryan
here.
Ross.
Yeah, Ryan Ross will be here, episode 206 on
Yep.
the 26th. So make sure that you set your calendar and you
Yep.
are here, and we will see you next time when we all run into the sky. Good night, everybody. And catch
Good
you next
night.
Monday.
Bye.
Peace. No, maybe we should do something more like have hand toggles to go peace, like with hand. No, I don't know. That was stupid.
Where?
I'm going to bed. I'm old.
Okay.
and tired. Night.
Bye.